Hi, welcome to the Louise Ginetta YouTube channel from the Louise Ginetta Gallery and Studio in Buxton, Derbyshire. Welcome, thank you for having a look. Today, or in this video, I'm going to be doing abstracts, and it's something that I've developed over a period of time from doing loads and loads of all sorts of experimental stuff involving texture and involving how paints respond to the actual stuff you put it on, so to the base coats and to the papers and fabrics and all sorts. And I do a lesson at the workshop on it, and also I'll be doing one online eventually when I get round to it, so keep your eyes peeled. The dilemma with abstracts is that there is a simplicity to them. There is an element of anyone could do it, a child could do it, and that's the case, anyone could do them. I think it's about decision making and about confidence, and also whether you're sticking to a principle about why you're doing it, because the principle and your ideas will come through as well, and that's what's really important as well. I hope you enjoy it and I hope you get something out of it, and please, the other thing is as well, this video is a bit all over the place because in the process of doing abstracts, it's so much about making decisions in the moment and responding to how the paint works, and you might think it's going to turn out one way and it comes out completely different because you've responded to how your mark making works and how things even dry or settle in. So in fact mine have sort of changed a good deal from the beginning to the end. And I didn't bore you with the whole process. I have put quite long spiels of the methods and how I was doing it, how I was applying the paint. So you will be able to flip through them, flip backwards and forwards, and use the wonder of YouTube. I hope you enjoy. Thanks very much. Oh, and also can I ask you to like and subscribe, because that really helps me. As you'll have seen from my other videos, texture is a bit of a thing with me. So there's a canvas with textures applied, and on the floor is a load of textures applied to papers. Just to show you some of the textures that I create. So this is just a piece of newsprint, and this is a piece of card that they use for packing, which I've stuck down and painted in acrylic primer. And what happens is it gets, because of all the plastic in it, it gets really hard. And of course this is just the beginning of the stage. I will put loads of acrylic on it, and the acrylic really sets it as well. This is the stuff that I use to make the textures on the abstracts that I've been doing. It's not even very heavy paper, but it's nice and strong once you've covered it in acrylics a few times, and it's just used for wrapping. But obviously there's tons of things you can do. There's some corrugated card. That was just corrugated cardboard. This is lovely. This has got a sort of plastic sheen on it. Somebody gave it to me. So that's going to be really nice as textures on something. And again, you can just go bonkers with it all. You know, the world's your oyster, isn't it? Go for it. Collage it, build it up so it's really thick. Just keep going until you are happy with what you've got. Put it on stick it onto a piece of canvas board or plyboard or something, and off you go. Bung on loads of really good quality wood glue. So that's one that's been painted. So all the textures and the depths contain the colour, and then you can paint the surfaces. And there's another one that's sort of different colourways. So it's really off you go. Here's one much more. Well, I put the blue on the board first. This one's got really hard. I mean, you can hardly press it down. I'm going to go for this one. Like, not keep it subtle. So I want some lovely colours on there. Well, no, I don't want lots of different colours. I'm going to keep it sort of bluey and just see what happens. Still with the acrylic. I haven't used acrylic inks yet. I really want to build up the plastic on the paper to make it more and more durable. I mean, look at how it goes there. So that was dark blue on the canvas board. Then when I applied the paper, this textured paper, oh, that's so lovely. And then when I applied the textured paper, I put some acrylic primer on. So of course that has a white effect. And you're just building up these beautiful edges and colours that you can get. And presumably you can just keep going and going until you're happy with it, because those edges are nice. And those colours are nice, that yellow. That sort of dirty colour. I'm going to get that. It's a shame because I had it and I got rid of it. Oh, there we are. It's on the brush. So I've got a bit of very light yellow. I just want to bring it through so that it's there. Do you know what I mean? And then even that's really lovely. So it's a question of leaving it, isn't it? Making sure you don't just take it all away. And where you've left the stake, see there, if you don't want it, and just rub it back. And I suppose what I'm trying to do is to allow the paint and the water and everything to do its own thing as much as anything. So that I know that, I don't know, it's got something about the actual stuff on it rather than my hand, or it's as much about the actual stuff on it as my hand, and allow it to do these lovely things that it wants to do and just see what it happens, because I can always change it, but I want it all the natural occurrences to happen as well. Otherwise it's just boring and you're not using the paints to talk, I suppose. Really lovely things you could use as brushes. I'm just going to try it and see what it does. I do like the white over here, it's not enough of one thing or another. I think I want it grey. I really like the way it sort of finds its own level. I'm going to keep that, even if it's dribbles, you know, because the board's got bent. But just let it. I'm going to let it. I want the whites out. I really like that dark brown on there too. So some of that. So despite my best intentions, I didn't manage to keep this painting simple and just blue. Things went a bit wrong, so I added more white and more colour, and I will end up glazing this with a blue. So I'll glaze it with blues and greens and maybe blacks and a bit of pinks, and those whites will recede. I think I'm just going to end up with quite a dark painting, but I don't mind. That's the way it goes sometimes. The colours and things that I did build up are still there. They've just got a little bit confused. And by the time I've finished it all, they'll be more balanced. And there are some lovely bits to it. That red's really nice. But again, you have to go with the flow. Quite apt, seeing as this is very watery. I wanted to show you how it paints and how, because this has got an acrylic sealant on the paper and the marks that the brushes come through, you can pull the acrylic on and off. So you can apply it thickly and darkly, using all these beautiful little holes and textures to hold the paint. But then you can also put paint on and then lift it as well. So get another brush and lift it through. So you're sort of rubbing it in rather than painting it. And it's a different way of using the brush really. And then get different brushes to blend it. And you build up layers and glazes. And then you can also get a damp cloth. I'll just show you this because I do quite like that, but you can get a damp cloth and pull it off again to reveal some of the textures. And so long as you do it before it's dry, you're in control a bit of it. I really like the brown against the blue. So just try different ways of doing it and see how it responds. So try it, allow yourself to build up these layers of colour, and there must be an optimum point when it's dry or dry enough to pull back, and then another point where you sort of leave it. It's very like the glazing of the abstracts that I do in the oils, and it's just utilising the sort of colours that appear as you keep going and the marks that they make so that you enjoy them, I suppose. Make the most of them. So I'm going to keep going over here and put darks. Keep going with my darks. So I've got soft paintbrushes there. I want something harder. Just getting a paintbrush that's going to push into those holes. And I want some more orange. And the other thing is you can bring in some of the colour swatches that you've done and just see what they look like beside it, so that you can give yourself some idea of the sort of colours you want to achieve in the end, if that's what you want to go down, if that's the route you want to go down. And of course, all this has been primed with acrylic primer, and it is getting loads of acrylic paint on it, so it'll become like a plastic. The actual surface will become really hard. And there's the possibility of painting into the grooves and the marks, and later on the surfaces. Purely by chance, you just come up with a lovely mark making tool and then that's not the end of it. You can just leave that on there. I'm just filling in all the white spaces, which is quite hard actually to get into all the corners and grooves of this. So you have to make sure you look at it from every angle. But what's really nice is, of course, you just keep building up lovely colours on it. So this is the finished piece. I'm really sorry, but I couldn't put you through all the agony of watching all the mistakes and all the decision making that goes into developing these. I have put layers on, I've wiped them off, I've put more glazes on. You can see how I do the glazes if you look at the glazing acrylic abstracts with oils, but it's the same principles as these. This was all done in acrylic, and I used acrylic flow medium in order to turn the acrylics into something that you could glaze with. You can get matte mediums for acrylic glazes and gloss mediums for acrylic glazes. You can't just water down acrylics because it destroys the chemical bonding of the acrylic paint. It is designed to be used thick or with its mediums to thin it down. And I've got some lovely colours in that. Again, a lovely mixture of green, which suggests vegetation, trees, nature, and blues, which of course suggest the sea. So you've got the calming effects of the greens, but the hints of that lovely emotional quality that the sea gives. That there is anger in there, although also serenity And because the sky has always existed and the sea has always existed, there is a sense of security given off by blue. So hopefully this picture and the textures within it have a lovely effect of, I don't know, maybe peace and calm at the same time, with some strange sorts of emotions going on. So I've done a couple of designs. This one's using slightly different colourway, but also the different papers. So this one is using a lovely, really heavy handmade paper, really thick. So you could gouge into it and you can mark through the paint and things. So just to show you some of the textures and some of the layering that's happened. And it's interesting because it's a funny mixture of colours. They are obviously the contrasting colours of the blue and orange, which creates colours that jump. And also the blue and the green sort of have a lovely suggestion of nature and of natural things, while the orange suggests more like something mechanical, something man-made, something metal. Really, I suppose it suggests other elements. So maybe there's a mixture of all sorts of different elements, from earth to minerals, vegetables, water, light. Yeah, so it's come out quite nicely, this. There's things I still want to change. I will be doing more of these abstract type things, more of the things about developing the mark making, the layering. I'll do a whole series so that what I've learned becomes evident, and then you can apply it to your own techniques. Thanks very much for watching. All the best. See you again.